Hello. Welcome to another video of the Pish Posh Pages YouTube series. Today I'm talking about memoirs that I read in 2022. I love memoirs. It's like my favorite genre to read. So excited to share these. I feel like so many booktube videos or just social media surrounding books in general, book talk, bookstagram, all the book places. It's so much of the same stuff all the time. And granted, I did read a lot of popular memoirs, but I just don't feel like memoirs get enough love. So I read 15 memoirs in 2022. I'm going to go through them really quickly with y'all, see if this helps you add some more nonfiction to your reading list, because I am a big nonfiction reader, especially memoirs, like I already said, but I think people get a little scared of nonfiction. I get it, I do, but come on. Let's try to read more nonfiction. I got some good ones in here. I really do. So like I said, there's 15. I'm going to go through them pretty quickly. Yeah, so here we go. I'm just going to go through them in order that I read them, because that's how they are in my spreadsheet. So that'll be easier. Whereas if I tried to rate them from favorite to least favorite, it's too hard. Okay, so the first one I read last year was Maid by Stephanie Land. Yes, that is the one that got a Netflix series. I wanted to read the book before watching the series, so I did. The book was very good. It wasn't as monumental as I thought it was going to be. I know it was so popular when it first came out, and it has continued to be popular. It was good, but it could have been a little bit better. I enjoyed it a lot because it was in the area, like set in the area that I'm from. So I was very familiar with the area. And I liked the way that Stephanie told her story. She was very honest about things, but there was definitely things where I was like, why are you making this decision? But that's what happened. And that's why she wrote a memoir, to share about her story and all of her decisions that she made, right or wrong. I would definitely suggest, if you haven't watched the series yet, read the book first, watch the series. I think it followed pretty well. There were things that like annoyed me a little bit, like the way that in the series, the actual place was not a real place. Like she was in a real town, obviously, Northwest Washington. And then when they're talking about it in the series and like showing it, like that's not a real place. Like it wasn't real. So that was annoying, because it could have just been real. Like there's no reason for it not to have been. But whatever, that's just me. I thought it was good. I understand the hype around it. Maid. Very good. Like it was a great book. It was actually the first book I read in 2022. So it was a great like start to the year. And I think I actually started 2023 with a memoir as well. I guess it's a pattern I have. The next memoir I read was Admissions by Kendra James. And this is a book about Kendra and her experience in a boarding school as one of the very few Black students and Black women in her boarding school class. It was very good. I saw it recommended, I believe, by Tracy Thomas, who hosts the Stacks podcast. It was a little dry at certain points, but I am still really glad that I read it. I love like boarding school stuff. After this book, it kind of sent me into another, like I just wanted to also read other boarding school books. And so I started reading fiction boarding school books, whereas this one was a lot more like serious. And obviously it's a memoir. I read some more boarding school books that were fiction, less dry and less sad, I guess. But I just got to recommend this other book, which is not a memoir, but it's really good. And I feel like it's super underrated. It's called All Girls by Emily Layden. And it's about 5 girls, maybe 6 girls in boarding school, and just their different stories in their life. And it's fiction, but it's really good. Wasn't my favorite memoir, Admissions, but it was a good one. I also wanted to one sec, my friend is asking me what I want to order for lunch. Please hold. Okay, next book is, we're done with that. If anyone wants to know, I ordered a caprese sandwich. Yum. Okay, so next book was a cult book. Love cult memoirs. They're my absolute favorite thing. Favorite. I should do a video of just cult books, but here we are. We're doing 2022 wrap up. It is called Sex Cult Nun by Faith Jones. She grew up in the Children of God cult. This one, she grew up overseas, whereas most of the cult books I read are set in the USA. This one, she grew up over in Asia, and her life was crazy. Obviously, horrible stuff happening in the life of a child who is being abused growing up in a cult. So there's your warning there, but it was very well written. And I believe this one was pretty popular places. It has a blue cover, Sex Cult Nun, really big on the cover. Very, very good book. If you like cult books, you got to read this one. Put it on your list. Once again, Sex Cult Nun by Faith Jones. I had not read any books yet about the Children of God. I've seen documentaries and stuff, but no books. So this is my first time reading about it. It was disturbing, but once again, very well written, and just this is like my favorite genre of books, cult memoirs, like amazing. Next memoir I read was Miss Me With That by Rachel Lindsay from The Bachelorette. You may know her from that. You may know her from ESPN. Come on, like, you know her from being The Bachelorette. That's where everyone knows Rachel Lindsay from. She wrote her memoir talking about her life growing up, going to school for sports management, which is what I went to school for, actually. So I thought that whole piece was interesting. Her wanting her career in sports, her career, I believe it was in law as well. Like she does a lot. She does so much. She is like one of the hardest working women around. She was definitely not my favorite bachelorette, like just entertainment wise. She wasn't my favorite. Actually, most of the bachelorettes I don't enjoy that much. I much more enjoyed The Bachelor, just because the women are so much more fun to watch than these annoying men. But anyways, that's besides the point. Her writing about the actual Bachelor franchise and her experience on the show, I thought it was interesting. It wasn't a huge part of the book because she just has so many other facets of her life that she wrote about. It was a quick read. It was very good. If you want just a reality star celeb memoir where it's actually a little bit deeper and talking about more of the work, just so much work, like career stuff, that's what I enjoyed the most about the book. And also obviously like the behind the scenes of reality TV stuff. So it was a good one. Very good. Would recommend. Even if you're not Rachel's biggest fan, I think you should read it. If you are a Bachelor fan, like it's kind of like required reading now, I feel like. Next one, really good, really fun memoir, Happy People Are Annoying by Josh Peck. Of course, I watched Drake and Josh growing up. And actually, fun fact is my husband's favorite movie is The Whackness, which stars Josh Peck. And he talks a lot about his experience filming that movie in the book and just like how monumental his time filming that and learning from people while film, like just very good. So I loved the behind the scenes of that. I loved his point of view growing up with a single mom, and also his drug experiences, alcohol experiences I didn't know about. And that he's very, very open and honest about everything while still being just very funny. Like it was a very happy book, even though it's called Happy People Are Annoying. I really enjoyed it. A really easy read, very enjoyable celeb memoir. Next one was probably, I'm like kind of glancing at everything, I think this was my least favorite memoir of 2022. I Am Sorry, Jazz. I know this book is very popular, so sorry, I did not love it. I read it because Jazz Thornton is extremely popular on TikTok for talking about mental health and her experiences with that and her attempting things you can't say on YouTube. You know, if you don't know, look her up. So the book is called Stop Surviving, Start Fighting by Jazz Thornton. And she shares about her life and her multiple attempts of things. And I felt like it was a little surface level, which is very hard to say when she was being very vulnerable, just even sharing anything about all this. But it it didn't go deep enough for me. But what I say about these kind of books is if it helps one person, it did its job. So that's amazing. If people find joy reading this book, if they find strength reading this book, that's wonderful for you. I just do not think it was the most well-written book, and it felt a little surface level to me. There was just so many times when she would start telling a story and then it like stopped, and I was like, give me just a little bit more. Like, what were you thinking? What, like, give me a little bit more. Uh, yeah, so probably my least favorite one that I read in 2022, but I still finished it. It was fine. Next one, very good cult memoir. Again, I can't believe it took me so long to read this book. It is Troublemaker by Leah Remini. Leah Remini, she's Carrie in King of Queens, one of like the best sitcoms of all time with Kevin James and Jerry Stiller. I love King of Queens. I love Leah Remini. I love this book. It's incredible. She grew up in Scientology and she just lays it all out there. And now she also, continuously speaks out against Scientology. She is in this fight against these people, and I love it. I love her. I think she's amazing, and I know some people don't like her, and that's fine. And she's very like abrasive and blunt, but I love that about her, and she's just awesome. I just loved it. I loved it. Yeah, Troublemaker, Leah Remini. Read it. It's old. It's still good. I also kind of went on a rabbit hole after this one because I was watching her show. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like called Leah Remini Scientology something, and it's like her and other people helping people get out of Scientology. Very, very good. Okay. I don't know why I did that. Next one was so long, but so good. I, along with so many people in the world, fell in love with Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian and their love and their marriage and their everything. I just think they're adorable together. And of course, I enjoyed Blink 182 before I did. I feel like I'm dressed like, obviously she likes Blink 182. Like I got my long sleeve thermal under my my dark eye makeup today. I don't know. This isn't even, yeah. Anyways, Can I Say by Travis Barker came out a while ago, I believe 2008, but I'm just pulling that off at the top of my head. Very interesting memoir. He talks about his plane crash. He talks about all the bands he was in. He talks about his different relationships. He talks about being a dad. And wow, what a wild ride. What an interesting person. What a passionate person. A person who is like one of the greatest drummers of all time. And he's sharing his story about his passion for drumming. I love passionate people. So I just love Travis. I love what he wrote. After reading his book, I also got like more obsessed with him. I'm like looking up like all these songs featuring Travis Barker on the drums, featuring Travis Barker on the drums. Like I was obsessed. So really good, but it's a really long one. Another interesting thing about this one is he has a bunch of other people like insert different paragraphs into the book, like about him, including his ex-wife, his family, his friends. Like they all have little inserts, co-workers, all kinds of people just inserting little things into the book. It's so good. So it's a great journey to go on if you are looking for a longer memoir and you are interested in Travis Barker, like at all. I think you'll enjoy it, but you gotta have like that push to be like in it because it's a big one. I think it was over 400 pages, which it, like is not that huge, but it's just long. Like you'll see if you read this one. Next one was Finding Me by Viola Davis. Viola Davis, what a amazing, wonderful actress. Like she is incredible. My favorite part about this book was actually her sharing about her endometriosis. I believe. I'm so sorry if that wasn't it, but I read so many parts about people. Sometimes I get confused, but her health journey. Thank you for writing this, Viola. And she also wrote like about her childhood, about being an actress, about her different experiences in film. Like she's incredible. Like there's not much to say. It was exactly what I expected from Viola Davis, and I expect a lot from her, and it was great. Like that's what I gotta say about her. Like it was exactly what I expected, and from Viola you expect the best. So that's what it was. Next one was, what do I say about this one, guys? Orange is the New Black by Piper Kerman. I love the Netflix series, Orange is the New Black. It's one of my favorite shows. I've rewatched it. I've watched it probably 3 times all the way through. And like, I'm obsessed. The stories in the show, the actresses, the things that it makes you think about, it's incredible. Like, it's so well done. Every single character is amazing. Like, hats off to Orange is the New Black. And Piper Kerman and her original memoir, Orange is the New Black, is what inspired the show. She helps create the show on Netflix. So for that, I am forever grateful. It was just so underwhelming after watching the show, which I know, I understand. The show is so much more. So much more has been extrapolated from this book and like made so much more. Like, it's series upon like seasons upon seasons for the series rather than this one little book and just Piper's experience. Whereas in the show, we're going into all these different people's experiences. It was one, if you're familiar with the show, hard to keep track of everybody because it's different names. So you're like, who is this supposed to be? Who is this supposed to be? And the show is just, unfortunately, like, the show is better. I'm sorry, Piper. I'm thankful for your book. If you have not seen the show yet, read the book first, then watch the show and have your mind be blown by one of the greatest shows ever made. Like, that's what I got to say about that one. It was fine. It was just so underwhelming, and it's my fault. I didn't read the book first. It's my fault, but I'm just warning you. Like, if you love the show, maybe you'll love the book, but I don't know what to say about it. So there we go. I feel like that was a good explanation. Maybe it's fine. Okay. Next one, Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. This was very popular. It has such a cute cover. It was fine. There was parts that I really enjoyed and I laughed at, and parts that I was really annoyed at, and I felt like Dolly wrote in a very immature way, and in some instances it was like fun and relatable, and in other instances it was just annoying. So that's how I feel about Everything I Know About Love. It's not about love, it's about her friends, really, and her experiences like growing up and falling in love, but it's also like my best relationships are with my friends. And it was good. It was a fun summer read, beach read, I would say. It's not very deep. It's fine. As you can tell from some of the other books I've been talking about, like, I love like these deep, like dark, disturbing growth stories in a memoir. So that one just fell a little short for me, but it was fine. It's very like Carrie Bradshaw vibes. Next one, another cult memoir. I think this is my last cult memoir. Yes. I Fired God by Jocelynn Zichtermann. She was in the IFB, Fundamental Baptist. This one, it's kind of like, it's not very popular, and it was very well written. Again, it's very similar to so many of the other cult memoir books I've read. Like anyone's about the FLDS, or I read one about the Westboro Baptist Church, and I have read a lot of fundamentalist kind of people leaving fundamentalist Christianity or other cults and their experiences. It's very similar to that, unfortunately. Like, there's bad stuff happening, and she got out and she tells her story of why. And it's definitely not like the most incredible cult memoir I've ever read, but it was a good one. It was good. Not very popular, so check it out. And this one, this is the same religion that like the Duggars are a part of. So if you want more insight into what that would be this one. Next one was Not My First Rodeo by Kristi Noem. She is the governor of South Dakota. She talks about her life journey growing up on a farm to becoming a governor of state. And it was very interesting. It was like relatable as somebody who comes from a rural community, like a very small town. I thought that was interesting. I love hearing about women who are breaking down walls, doing things differently. So I did enjoy it. I don't agree with everything that Kristi says, but I think it was fine. That was it was kind of boring compared to like when I'm going through this list, but it was okay. It was fine. Like if you're a I'm not even gonna go there. It's fine. You could look it up and see if you want to read it or not. Next one is Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton, aka Draco Malfoy. I thought this was good. I think some people are really harsh on Tom on some of this criticism. They're like, this didn't give me enough. It was very surface level. I don't think it was surface level. I thought it was good. I thought he shared a lot more. I learned a lot about Tom. I am not like the crazy side of the Harry Potter fandom. Like I love Harry Potter, but I'm not like obsessed. Like I'm not reading like Hermione and Draco fan fiction. I understand why people do because like he is in love with her. I feel it in my bones, but not Draco, like Tom. I think, and he says they're just friends, but I don't know. I don't know about that. Anyways, he talks about growing up, becoming an actor, his young acting experiences, obviously his time filming Harry Potter, leaving Europe to go live in LA, and then some alcohol addiction, which I didn't know about, and then kind of growing up. I thought it was very good. I thought it was very good. Like it was good. I don't know why some people are being really hard on him. I don't know why. It was good. Last one. As you can tell, I read a lot of celeb memoirs and cult memoirs, but I try to fit in some other stuff too. Like I said, last one is the uber popular I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy. I did grow up watching iCarly. I loved this memoir. This is very much in the same vein as some of the like cult memoirs I like to read, or just people overcoming hardship, bad relationships, things like that. I did not know how much this was going to be about her eating disorder. I really knew it was going to be about her relationship with her mom. So I know some people really struggle reading about eating disorders. So there's your warning. I'm sure if you're a reader, you know about this book. So there you go. But it was so good. She's a great writer. She wrote very much like from the age that she was telling the story from, if that makes sense. So when she's really young, she uses the voice of herself as a very young girl. And as she gets older, her voice matures in the writing. Very good, a very complicated relationship. So good. Like so good. Another quick read because you just want to keep going. It's addicting. The chapters are so short too. That was just, it's addicting to read. It's incredible. So I hope that she writes more books. The thing is, because she says that she loves to write. I don't know if she wants to write more like TV, movies, things like that, or if she wants to actually like write more like books and stuff. But her writing of this was chef's kiss. But the weird thing is like, you wrote your memoir. Now what do you write? Do you write fiction or do you write more nonfiction? I don't know. But I'll be there. I'll be there to read whatever she has to say, because this was incredibly written and very vulnerable, sharing her story and all the things that she went through. So those are the 15 memoirs I read in 2022. I hope that if you have not read any of these, or what am I trying to say here? I hope if you haven't read any of these, maybe one of them sounds interesting to you, and put it on your list, put it on your TBR for 2023. And I just really hope y'all enjoyed my little explanation of these and what I liked and disliked about them. I love memoirs, so if you have more memoirs I need to read, let me know in the comments. I've obviously read a lot more than this. This is just from 2022, but there you go. There you go. And if you want to see more booktube videos from me, let me know in the comments and let me know what you want to hear. I do read fiction. I read lots of romance. I read thrillers, and then memoirs, and then, whatever else I find out there. All right. Hope you're enjoying whatever it is you are reading right now. You can always also listen to my book talk podcast. It's called Pish Posh Pages. It's available wherever podcasts are found. So check that out. It's very short, bingeable episodes, and it's really fun. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. See you next time.